So I never have an idea fully of who's watching my videos or who's behind some of the comments in videos. And then when I do, sometimes I'll click on a commenter's name to see who they are, and I oftentimes get this channel cannot be seen by you, sort of like pink red alert, right? And I'm thinking it's like people either in Canada or a part of Canada or in Germany or something like that. And I even took offense to some people, like, hey, I'm not going to answer your questions or do anything because I don't know who you are, right? I think you're a sock account and somehow you've set it up where I can't access your account. Anyway, it turns out that, I mean, it's probably just some damn fluke or setting, or maybe there is some like nationalistic boundaries set up, amongst YouTube for some weird triaging that's allowed for some people but not for other people. I don't know. All I know is this is one of my commenters fairly regularly. I kind of, I don't know, I found out who they were, and it changed the whole momentum of the day. And I'm like, wow, I don't have a lot of time today, but I mean, I got plenty of time. But what I'm saying is that the momentum, the direction, the flavor of the day has this whole new angle now because I have been introduced to her. And anyway, so it had me looking up St. Francis. It had me looking up. I used to go to this bar in Logan, Utah, which is a college town, which is my alma mater. And there's a place called the White Owl, and I'd go there. It's something else. Anyway, so without naming names, I think you now know who I'm talking to. And so I guess this is a little bit of an ode to the idea of suffering and the idea my like gotta love the painters, right? Like maybe people that dig the auditory field and the ode to it, they're about conception, right? Where you're in the goo and you can maybe hear the slosh or feel it. I don't think there'd be a big difference between hearing your universe and feeling your universe when you're in utero. But seeing your universe, I imagine besides occasional red glyphs that might come through all the orgismal walls, you might see a red blurb here and there, and that's about it. And maybe to a new soul, that little flash is everything. All I know is what I'm saying is the moment of birth, the moment of opening your eyes and seeing a blitzkrieg of colors. That has got to be like amazing for the subjective soul. What would it be like to remember that moment? I mean, that'd be great. Anyway, so gotta love painting. Gotta love the symbolism in painting. And so here's a little tour, I guess. First of all, on my broken, spattered ass again. Took my pharmacopoeia drugs today. Got my opium patch. Okay, 1 mile an hour. Anyway, I don't know what I'm saying. Maybe the other one that I made is already better, right? But hey, here we go. So spirals, or not spirals, that infinity sign, like this thing was ripping through like left to right, right? This orb, like I'm addicted to this orb. Here's another painting, big infinity sign ripping through, right? Now it's not a sun, but I paint it as a sun, but it's really more about the orb. And I put the tines on it because it's more about, wow, there's this orb. But the infinity sign going through it had me thinking about the track of an infinity sign and how the day before I spattered my body, I hung out with this guy who was dying. He was on his deathbed, and we spoke about whether or not I was going to allow a certain spiritual war to end in a particular fashion, right? As if I somehow had control over that, which is really weird in terms of my relationship to everything, to all sights, to all sounds, to all correlates, to all meaning. The moment, the very center of where meaning can take place, it does take place. And at that moment, that meaning means something, right? So deriving meaning from the universe can come in many forms. Anyway, aliens, right? Like this one is like, okay, I can't even release that print, right? Like I got some prints under contract now to myself, right? I'm contracting them to myself for this big thingamajiggy. That's, hopefully I can do something with it in the near future. I'll let y'all know. I only let some people know about this little secret every now and again, but it's like Argus, the 100-eyed beast, right? Except for he's like a snake alien beast, and he's crying, right? Because he finds out, like, oh, people love me after all. Really, you love me? And so he's just happy, but he's bawling. He's snotting everywhere, and then there's some lady counterpart in the background who I haven't given a name to. Anyway, so that's probably, I don't know what it's going to be called, either like You Love Me After All, or like Argus, Forgiving Argus, or something like that. That one got buzzed. That one's going in. Get the purple thing, get the smiley. Boo. Yada yada. Okay, but what was I going to get at? What am I getting at? I'm getting at the idea of suffering. Like, I used to live in LA, and then I wasn't quite certain if I was going to go back. I was a lot of trouble I was having down there, and then finally I get a phone call from a friend saying I had a seizure at work. The doctors found a tumor in my skull, half the size of my brain. I go into surgery next week to get it removed, blah, 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 And I'm thinking, well, gotta go. Yeah, got a friend that's dying. Gotta go. So I let that be a decision. And I was thinking about the decision that I made that was in somebody else's best interest. I think a lot of suffering has to do with being stripped away of time. It's like going to jail or prison, right? And there's decays that happen, right? Like I remember I'm in the, like I'm just coming out of this surgery, right? It was just, I mean, I can't even tell you what. There's really no telling other than the body is beyond crying, right? It's so locked up. And, I mean, I just barely had, bones removed and fake bones put in and all this metal slapped in there and just like this fixing. It was just, anyway, all I know is like the best drugs, morphine, it didn't faze me. Like they put me on Dilaudid and morphine. And Dilaudid, I remember I enjoyed the Dilaudid for 40 minutes out of, I think I could have it every 2 hours. So for 2 hours, like there was a 40-minute segment every 2 hours for about 36 hours that I could feel funky. And what it did, it was like a high. It moved the focus of the pain away. Right, I think that's what a lot of marijuana does. It seems to move the focus of the pain away. And I don't know, I don't even know what to say besides that. Like okay, so I think the antinatalist debate is just retarded. I mean, it's like a life or death, yeah, to be or not to be. I think it's stupid. Like, everyone's gonna suffer. You want to reduce suffering, but the idea of ending life to reduce suffering, it's almost like, you know, like like people that come to this conclusion, like the End of War Games, the movie from the 80s with Matthew Broderick. Well, the computer's like, I guess the answer is to not play the game, right? And Gary will get on here and make his argument. Oh, and he'll make his analogy too. It's like tic-tac-toe, you know, just the same thing with the computer. Do not play the game, you know, and that's his big referent. And then this last video he made was just awful, right? Like, he totally, it becomes obvious now where people are stealing their basis, their arguments in terms of, you know, like, where are they getting it? His argument about, you know, a refutation against the idea that meat eating caused a large brain, and then people pulling up competing biological arguments. It's absolutely absurd. I mean, this is why I like difference. Like, I like difference. Homogeny and monism are the fear. Clarity in truth is a problem. I think for as much as people quest for truth, they would absolutely be petrified to find a truth, the truth, and see how far it is they're off of it relative to whatever the it is. Anyway, here's a tore up letter that I got from a lovely lady, that good old Mary. Those are like recent letters and addresses to people that I do clowns for, or paintings for. And anyway, I just got an email. Made me happy. It was weird. The first instance of today meeting one of my commenters. Name to not be disclosed just yet. Great brown-eyed, salt of the earth. Check it out, brown eyes, right? Salt of the earth woman. Seems like she's got a lot of difference, a lot of commonality. This makes me feel really, I don't know, good. Connected in a whole different way, different lattice of connection going on right there. And then Mary sends me a nice email. I'm not disclosing quite who Mary is. Some of you might know. But she's happy with what she received. And I'm happy to have gotten it to her. I guess I'm not happy that all of our dialogues about my work extend to name dropping of other individuals. Even though I can't make a video. My movie, I made a movie. I can't make a movie without dropping somebody else's name. But I don't don't know. What is this one going to sound like? Hi, by the way, good to meet you.